Hello, and thanks for tuning into the Vessel News Show. I'm Dawson DeVito.
And I'm Abigail Olson. We've had a busy fall semester here at the University of Sioux Falls, welcoming new freshmen and key new leaders in sports and student ministries.
Today on the show, we'll be introducing you to some of the new faces here on campus, such as John Hart, the new director of Intercollegiate Athletics, as well as the new pastor taking over after the beloved retirement of Pastor Dennis THUM.
With the retirement last spring of longtime pastor Dennis THUM, USF set about finding his replacement. That special person was Pastor Matt Stiles, an alumnus of USF with a degree in media studies and theology. Lexi Hangeveld and Regan Lardy have the story.
This past year, campus ministries underwent new changes. One of those new changes included bringing in a new campus pastor after Dennis THUM retired last spring. Matt Stiles, who joined campus ministries this fall, talks about his experiences in his new position.
When I started, it was the week before all the students moved in, so you just hit the ground running. But it's been a really good transition. I've really enjoyed just getting to see God at work in the lives of students in our community.
Matt joins a team of campus ministries members, including campus ministries president Charm Swatlowski, who shares her experience with Matt as the new pastor and the changes she has seen happening throughout the months since he has joined the team.
Yeah, Matt has been wonderful. He's just so insightful and creative too. I think that chapel has been just amazing this semester. I've seen people just showing up consistently in chapel this semester, and I think that a lot of that is because Matt is wonderful at what he does, and of course it is the Holy Spirit working through him, but he's great to have on campus.
Coming in here, it's been so nice to have several both staff and students come alongside me and say, hey, here's some things to be familiar with, to pay attention to. And so to be able to bounce ideas off of others, to work together as a team, I think it just re-emphasizes that we are the body of Christ and not just isolated individuals.
With the new semester approaching, campus ministries has many exciting things in the works that they're excited to share with the student body.
This is really exciting because we are actually launching our first ever peer discipleship cohort. And that's just kind of a new thing that we're doing this semester, or starting next semester, and it will be continuing on for as long as we can do it.
I really enjoy taking different experiential kind of prayer services and incorporating that into chapel and other things.
Matt graduated from USF in media studies and theology, and he is so glad to be back helping students learn and grow as he did.
I also think it's been just a pleasure being able to sit down with students and talk with them, ask them questions, for them to get to know me and vice versa. So I think that's probably one of the biggest highlights for me.
With Regan Lardy, I'm Lexi Hingeveld for the Vessel Online.
It's been nearly a year since the university welcomed its new athletic director, John Hart, in the U.S. family last January. So Aiden DeBoer and I sat down with him to discuss how his transition has gone into the new position, as well as what's next for USF athletics.
John Hart took over as USF's athletic director last January, coming from Dakota Wesleyan University.
It's been a great first full year. Again, not a lot that I probably didn't expect coming here. Probably some of the more differences probably just are in relation to compliance, right? Going from the NAI to NCAA Division II, a little bit of a difference in rule book and regulation and compliance. So there's some nuances there that were new to me, but we got a great staff over there that really has helped equip me to be in a really good position to continue to build up our programs.
Now that Hart has settled into his new home at USF, he and the rest of the athletics department are focusing on pioneering a new era of Cougar athletics, eager for what the future holds.
And there's some things coming down the pike here that I think are going to be really exciting for our brand and where we want to go as a department. You know what I mean? And without getting into detail on that, I hope that people can really sense that and start to feel that, and then also can see it. Sometime after the first year here too, we'll have some pretty cool announcements and whatnot. And on the facility front, that's a big thing on my checklist. We need to make some progress both on campus and over at the South Complex in that regard, and I think we have a lot of the tools in place to get that done and really hit the ground running as far as some of those asks and getting in front of the right people that can make that project a reality.
For the Vessel Online, I'm Aiden DeBoer.
This is the time in a college semester when upper-class students showcase their work to the campus community. Vessel reporter Daniel Newman visited the senior show of Becky Cerezo and our very own Rose Casey Lee.
On December 5th, between 4 to 6, two USF art students, Becky Cerezo and Rose Casey Lee, presented their final projects in the show Under the Surface. Both students interpreted books, Becky giving her interpretations of specific chosen Bible verses, while Rose reinvented Lewis Carroll's children's classic Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. I talked to them both the day after their show was completed. This is what they had to say.
I loved the films, all of them, the Tim Burton ones and primarily the Disney ones when I was a kid. And I had never gotten a chance to read the book until I started this show, so that was what kind of allowed me to be like, oh, I can finally read it and have some time and an excuse to read it. And Alice is just relatable, so even though she's young, the things that she goes through in Wonderland can be applicated to like real life, and if you read the book you can kind of see that. So we all have to grow up, so that's a lot of what it was. So it was something that was relatable, and also something that, even though it's been done a lot, and even with my show last night, like I could see that like it's nostalgia. So a lot of people have some sort of relationship with the book or the films, or some experience that they've had in regards to Alice in Wonderland that made them connect with it, which was also nice to see.
Well, I think what influenced me the most was just my questions about God, and kind of just trying to explore what he means to me, what he means to others, and who is he actually? Is he who he says he is? So that's kind of what all my pieces center around. Basically figuring out, like, he is who he says he is. And he's here, and he's there even when it's hard.
And like most people, the hardest question was which was their favorite.
We'll take a break right now to look at a few of the hype reels we produced during the semester.
When we come back, we'll have stories on our Norman B. Mears Library, the popular Magical Dinner, and a new short film from the Coup Cinema Club. We'll be right back. Coup Cinema Club's latest short film, Complementary, follows two art students as they overcome art block through connection and collaboration. Elliot Dixon and I captured a behind-the-scenes look into the creative process of this year's fall film. On a color wheel, the two colors opposite each other are called complementary. While the colors could not be more different, they complete each other. This is the basis of Complementary, a Coup Cinema Club short film about abstract artist Jackson and realism artist Ophelia as they learn how to bring balance to each other's art and personal lives.
My name is Elliot, and I'm the president of the Coup Cinema Club and the director of Complementary. Well, the plot, to kind of keep it short, is about two art students. One lives in color, very vibrant, oversaturated, just really, really bright, but it's kind of a bit of a facade. And then the other lives the opposite, very low saturation, and they're both feeling like they are missing something, and they're looking for something to complement one another. And so they meet each other by helping each other get through art block. So it's just kind of a cutesy little short film about coming together and complementing one another.
My name is Em, and I play Ophelia.
And my name is Nathan, and I play Jackson.
Ophelia is a realist in more ways than one. She's a very serious, very reserved sort of character. She mostly keeps to herself and is very perfectionistic in everything she does, whether it be art or her personal social life. So you can imagine her surprise when this weirdo in bright colors busts into her life and switches everything up.
And then Jackson is an abstract painter and with an abstract lifestyle. He does things as he feels they come upon him. And yeah, he just kind of goes about life having fun, doing all kinds of things. Less of a planner.
So the writing process was actually really fun. I got to sit down with Abigail and we got to really collab and just like throw out a whole bunch of ideas because we both had different yet very similar ideas that we were kind of formulating over the summer. And so it was really great to be able to sit down and list out all of those ideas and then take those ideas, collaborate with one another, and turn it into like a full-blown story. It was a lot of fun, and we managed to crank out a script in a quick amount of time. Like we did it pretty fast, so I was proud of us. It was a lot of fun. In terms of cinematography, like I knew that one thing that I really wanted to have was just this like difference in color. I really wanted to work with color and tell a story through lighting and color grading and all this kind of stuff. I don't know, it was just really cool to be able to do that because I feel like that's something that Coup Cinema Club hasn't done much of before. There were, kind of some challenges with like cinematography and the camera specifically that we had to overcome just because our lenses are so tight, but it worked out really well. We got some beautiful shots of the characters and their artwork and all the different scenes. I'm really excited for people to see what I mean.
Filming this was such a blast. We got to create something really cool with some of our absolute best friends in the world. So that was absolutely awesome. Two of my favorite things in this world happen to be art and this guy, so I enjoyed the process from start to finish.
It was fun working with the directors, Abigail and Elliot. They both had a really clear vision, and seeing it all unfold throughout the filming process, despite the many hurdles that we had, was really cool to see all come together.
And the dance scene was really fun. It was really fun to act.
My favorite part was probably seeing the painting for the first time, because it was just so weird to see that this thing that had been created, was it the night before? Or it was created specifically for this, and it helped like idealize what the movie was supposed to be about. Yeah, it was really neat.
Cadence is amazing. It wouldn't have been the same show without her art. My favorite part was the dance scene. Absolutely loved it. Big fan.
I wanted to make this film because it was something different than what Coup Cinema Club has done in the past. It's very minimal dialogue, but a lot of the story is told just in the behavior of the characters and the cinematography itself, very artsy-fartsy. I don't know, I had a blast thinking and coming up with something different.
Complimentary premieres on December 12th, both in person and on the Coup Cinema Club's YouTube channel. For the Vessel Online, this is Abigail Olson.
Wow, Abigail, that film looks great. I can't wait to see it.
Thank you, Dawson. It was really fun to make. The Coup Cinema Club is a great group of students dedicated to making films, learning the filmmaking and acting process, and presenting our creations to the community.
Right now, we're pleased to welcome to the set Lexi Hangefeld, co-editor of the USF Vessel magazine. Her guest today is Coup Cinema Club President Elliot Dixon, and they're going to talk about the history of the very popular club and what's ahead for the next semester.
Thank you, Dawson. Good morning and welcome to Java Talk. Today, I'm joined with Elliot. We're so glad you could be with us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Perfect. So we're here to talk a little bit about the Coup Cinema Club. So could you tell us how the Coup Cinema Club started?
So the Coup Cinema Club started in the summer of 2019, where a previous student at Bologna, Davalos, came to Nick Poppins and Nancy Sutton and kind of expressed her want for a cinema club on campus for students to have. And they kind of looked at her like, really? Are you serious? But it happened, and I'm personally so grateful that it did.
Yeah, awesome. So what have been some of the projects you guys have been working on over this semester or some of the past semesters?
So under my presidency, which is, I've been president this semester and also last semester. So last semester in February, we had the 54 Film Fest. And you know, I've got like, you have 54 hours to film a short film, and so for my first project, it was kind of hectic and crazy, and I had a lot of nervous energy because I was like, oh my goodness, I was afraid everything was going to go wrong, you know, I need to make an impression. I was also kind of nervous about like how many people would be available to kind of help out, but it turned out phenomenal. We had, I think, like a 10-person crew, and it was great. It was smaller than, you know, what we've had in the past, but I think that worked out in our favor because, you know, sometimes it's kind of crazy to deal with like a lot of people. But it was so much fun being able to just work with the incredible people that we had. It was a really fun experience. Everything went according to plan, and the project turned out awesome. And then this year, we we filmed our short film Complimentary, which is premiering Thursday the 12th, so this Thursday at 7 p.m. in Big Z. I'm super excited for that. But that was an incredible experience. It was so much fun. I had some ideas over the summer and was kind of like hyping it up since September. I was like, oh my gosh, like I have some great ideas. I'm so excited. Like I just get ready. And then Abigail Olson had reached out to me and she was like, I actually have some ideas and I would love to sit down and like discuss with you. So we did, and we found out that our ideas were like very similar. It was crazy. So we decided to just mesh them together and created this like beautiful romance film. It's very artsy-fartsy. You know, it's very different than some of the films that Coup Cinema Club has done in the past, which was kind of my goal. I wanted to shoot for that. We worked with a lot of different like lighting, and we had this whole like low saturation, high saturation concept. It's a very minimal dialogue film because we kind of wanted to convey our message through like other means of communication, that being the saturation, the color scheme, the body language, but I'm really excited for people to see it.
Yeah, cool. So do you guys submit these films to any sort of festival or any sort of award ceremony, and then what does that process kind of look like?
Yes, so we do. There's a lot of different ones. You kind of just keep an eye out for them. There's no specific ones. I guess the major one would be the 54 Film Fest, but that's kind of timed. Other than participating in that, there's a lot of like student-related like film festivals, whether it's nationwide or like worldwide. And you kind of just like look for the opening when those open, because there's a certain time period that it opens, so you kind of just almost have to do a little research and be like, okay, is this legit? And when does it open? And then kind of go through the process of, I don't know whether it's, they'll have some kind of submission process. So it's just like having your short film ready to then be submitted and then viewed and then, you know, kind of get nominated, get some awards, that kind of stuff.
Very cool. Do you guys have any exciting upcoming projects in the next semester or the coming semesters?
Yes, we do. And I'm really, really excited. So obviously, we're going to try and do 54 Film Fest again because that has been a KU Cinema Club tradition. Honestly, I think since Apollonia started it. However, the date in which the Film Fest falls this year is kind of strange and kind of might run into some conflicts there, but that's kind of a TBD. So kind of wait to hear from us on that. Other than that, Hope Dunkel, she is a senior and she is putting on her senior show spring semester. And she reached out to me and she expressed her desire for the KU Cinema Club to film it. And she wanted something different than just like a taping of it. She wants it to be more cinematic. And she told me that and I was like, oh my gosh, that would be so cool because she wrote it herself. So she's really proud of it. And I want to be able to, you know, give her something that she can look back on and like also feel proud about. So that will also be happening at some point. I'll sit down with her to kind of work out details and what exactly she's looking for. And then to kind of finish the year off in the spring semester, we do have a project that I can't say. It's a surprise. We're keeping it on the down low, but it's going to be really cool. I don't think KU Cinema Club has done anything like it either.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not going to say anything. So if you want to participate in that or know what it is, just kind of keep an eye out for that because it will be announced eventually.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been great to talk with you. Yes, thank you. This has been Java Talk. Back to you, Dawson.
Since 1963, the University of Sioux Falls has been hosting magical dinners, which are the Renaissance Christmas-themed dinner theater performance led by students. The long-standing annual tradition provides the USF community with entertainment during the holiday season. Vesta reporters Sierra O'Malley and Lydia Klein have the story.
Christmas season is here, and at the University of Sioux Falls, students are bringing holiday joy to the university and community with their annual magical dinner show. This USF tradition takes guests back to a medieval dinner with live music, amazing performances, and a dramatic storyline. Student Toby Knutson explains why he enjoys putting on the magical show.
So my favorite part of putting on the madrigals is just to continue on this tradition that's been going on for USF for years, and I just love seeing everybody's faces when we just bring the joy of Christmas to them each night. So that's one thing I really love about this show.
The show is student-led, which displays students' acting, singing, and dancing skills. Throughout the evening, guests are treated to a delicious festive meal while being entertained by a lively cast of characters. Toby shares about the cast dynamic.
One thing I just really loved about this cast this year is that we're all like, for lack of better terms, we're like locked in. We bounce off each other really quickly. We just vibe together and we have a really fun time. And so I think that's one thing that I'm excited for everybody to see is just us having fun and then getting to share that fun with everybody else.
The Magical Dinner runs from December 5th through the 7th, with tickets available to the public. What a wonderful way to celebrate the holidays and support students. For the Vessel Online, I'm Sierra.
We hope you enjoyed our fall semester television production show. We'll be back for more stories in spring.
To learn more about the Media Studies Department at the University of Sioux Falls, search the USF website for Media Studies BA.
Thank you all so much for joining us, and have a great holiday break.